Hello, YouTube. My name is Danny, and I'm back with another review for you. Today, we're going to be reviewing the Queen Studios 1/3 scale Heath Ledger Joker. This statue came out a few months ago to rave reviews, and I'm a huge fan of the Heath Ledger Joker. He's probably my favorite character from any movie. He nailed that role. It's just an iconic role. And when I saw that they had announced this, I really didn't know who Queen Studios was. They're a relatively new company to the business. They were doing mostly, busts, life-size busts of Marvel characters. And then when I saw this and I had a chance to get it, I immediately jumped on it. They offered two options. You could have gotten the rooted hair version or the sculpted hair version. I like the sculpted hair version better. I know some people like the rooted hair because you can mess with it. It maybe looks a little more realistic, but I don't want to deal with the hassle of having to take care of hair on top of a statue as well. It's hard enough that this is all mixed media, except for obviously the head. So that would have been, just more of a challenge. But let's get into the review. Obviously, you know who Heath Ledger Joker is. If you don't, you probably wouldn't be watching this video. But let's get into it. So we have a kind of a strange choice for our base. I don't even know how to describe it. Basically, it's meant to be a scene out of the jail scene, but it's got a wooden top. It's all sculpted, but it looks like real wood with some nice textures and some nice color. It looks realistic enough, but I couldn't tell you really what the rest of the base is. And it may just be a platform to hold the statue, and there's no real explanation needed. They did spell out the word Joker. It's very hard to make out, so it was an odd choice. It's Joker across here, across the bat signal, which is a nice touch. And then you have the Dark Knight logo here on this side of the statue. It is a nice base. I just couldn't tell you what it is, really, other than the wooden top. As we move on, we have a very heavy, real metal or iron bench. This thing is heavy, and it's a good choice because it is what holds him together. There are no magnets on this statue anywhere. I mean, the head doesn't even have a magnet, which is a bit odd, but the way it's done, it doesn't need it. So I thought I was going to be a little more nervous about it, but having put them together, it's not something that you're going to even notice. But yeah, so we have a really realistic looking bench. It's got some nice weathering on it. It's painted beautifully. It is heavy, like I said. It's a very heavy bench. And it is a big bench. It is a 1/3 scale statue. So it's bigger than most of the statues that I'm used to reviewing. I review 1/4 statues. Mostly this is my first 1/3 scale statue, and it certainly won't be the last, as I have the Batman on pre-order, the Christian Bale one. I can't wait till that comes out. But back to the statue. Now we move on to his body, and it's really well made. I mean, it's a pretty basic statue. He is sitting down. The shoes are resin. They're not mixed media shoes, but they look terrific. They have some nice weathering. The browns, the stitching, it all looks very realistic. And you even have his laces, and the laces just look terrific. As you move on, you have his socks. They're accurate to the movie scene in The Dark Knight. The colorings, they're also mixed media, but they look really, really good. As you move on to his pants, you have that purple pinstripes on the pants. They're almost hard to make out on camera, but the tailoring on this thing is ridiculous. I mean, it's spot on. They fit perfect. They look like quality. There's nothing cheap about this statue. It doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't look cheap. The colors are just spot on. And again, the tailoring is perfect. It looks really good. As you move on, you have his hands. They have a ton of bruising because he was in the scene where he was being chased by Batman and he got caught. He was fighting, so he's got some blood on his knuckles. Maybe a little bit too much bruising. They're a little dark for my taste, but they look good. It doesn't take anything away from it. The fingers look really good. It got a lot of detail. The fingernails are dirty. You see all of the wrinkles. I mean, it just looks great. The veinage work is good. So they did a nice job. Maybe a tad dark, but in terms of detail, it's all there. The texturing is there. It looks good. As you move up, his arms, you have this beautiful shirt. They just tailored it to perfection. I mean, everything just fits right. I didn't have to do anything other than, set him up and put the head on him. But the outfit looks great. And also doesn't collect that much dust. I've had him here for a few months, and, I dust him every so often. But it's not something that really gets that dirty. So again, I can't express enough how well the tailoring is on this statue. Everything fits perfect. It looks great. Just a really well made statue. Now moving on up, you have his vest, and then you have the missing button, which is actually movie accurate from what I understand. And as you move up, you have his tie, the collars. Again, it looks great. It's tailored right. And then the star of the show, obviously, is the face sculpt. The likeness on this statue is the best Heath Ledger likeness that I've seen on any statue made. And there are some more coming out, a 1/4 scale by Queen Studios, where it's a different scene. That face sculpt looks even better than this one, which is hard to imagine. Prime One has one, and a company called J&D has one coming out as well. They look good also, but in my opinion, this one still captures the likeness the best out of the ones that I've seen, except for Queen Studios 1/4 scale coming out, which I also have on pre-order because I'm looking forward to that one as well. But this turned out great. I mean, you see the scarring, there's texturing there to add to it. Okay, the paintwork is just great. They didn't go with a perfect paint job. They went with almost like a weathered paint job because he had been in a fight. So it's got some really good makeup effects. The coloring is great. The eyes look awesome. The nose looks great. And then his hair. For sculpted hair, it's probably the best sculpted hair I've ever seen. It looks great. It's got nice individual strands. The color is great. And it just flows really, really well with the statue. Again, the star of this piece is clearly the head sculpt, and it does not disappoint. It is really good. It's a beautiful 1/3 scale Heath Ledger Joker, and as of right now, the best Heath Ledger Joker statue, bar none, until the other ones come out, and then the jury will be out on those. But I have a feeling that Queen Studios is going to keep that title because their 1/4 scale looks just as impressive in face sculpt as this one. Once again, thank you for tuning in. My name is Danny. If you enjoy my channel, subscribe as I'll keep adding more in the coming days. Thank you so much for watching.